the economic backbone of America's war on drugs. The relationship between the war on drugs and the economic structure of the United States is complex and multifaceted. How the war on drugs has fueled the U.S. economy and funded the government. Since its inception in the early 20th century, the war on drugs has significantly influenced the United States economy and government funding. From law enforcement expenditures to asset forfeiture revenues, the drug war has permeated various economic sectors, creating both intended and unintended financial consequences. The economic backbone of law enforcement. The war on drugs officially began under President Richard Nixon in 1971, when he declared drugs public enemy number one. This declaration led to substantial federal and state budget allocations aimed at combating drug trafficking and use. These allocations have had profound economic impacts, particularly in the realm of law enforcement and incarceration. Funding law enforcement. Each year, billions of dollars are funneled into law enforcement agencies such as the Drug Enforcement Administration (DEA) and local police departments to combat drug-related crimes. These funds are used for a variety of purposes, including salaries, training, equipment, and technology. The continual investment in law enforcement has created a robust economic sector dedicated to the war on drugs. The prison industrial complex. The United States has one of the highest incarceration rates in the world, with a significant portion of inmates serving time for drug-related offenses. This has given rise to what is often referred to as the prison industrial complex. The construction, maintenance, and operation of prisons have become significant economic activities, providing jobs and stimulating local economies, especially in rural areas where many prisons are located. Asset forfeiture, a controversial revenue stream. One of the less discussed but economically significant aspects of the war on drugs is the practice of asset forfeiture. Law enforcement agencies have the authority to seize assets connected to drug trafficking, such as cash, vehicles, and real estate. These seized assets can then be used to fund further law enforcement activities. Revenue generation. Asset forfeiture has generated substantial revenue for law enforcement agencies. For example, in 2019, the Department of Justice's Asset Forfeiture Fund had over $1.05 billion in deposits. This revenue stream has become a critical component of law enforcement funding, allowing agencies to purchase advanced equipment and fund operations without relying solely on taxpayer dollars. Controversy and criticism. Despite its financial benefits, asset forfeiture has been highly controversial. Critics argue that it can lead to abuses of power and that individuals' assets are sometimes seized without due process. The debate over asset forfeiture highlights the ethical and legal complexities inherent in the war on drugs. Healthcare costs and public health initiatives. The war on drugs has also had significant implications for the healthcare sector. As the government combats drug use and addiction, substantial funds are allocated to healthcare programs and initiatives. Addiction treatment and rehabilitation. Government-funded programs for addiction treatment and rehabilitation have become essential components of the healthcare system. These programs require substantial financial investment, contributing to the overall economic impact of the war on drugs. Additionally, public health campaigns aimed at preventing drug use and educating the public about the dangers of drugs have required significant funding. Economic burden of drug addiction. Drug addiction itself poses an economic burden. The costs associated with healthcare for drug-related illnesses, lost productivity, and the social welfare needs of families affected by addiction all contribute to the economic impact of the war on drugs. The government must balance the costs of combating drug use with the financial implications of the ongoing addiction crisis. The impact on legal markets. The illegal drug trade affects legal markets in several ways. Money laundering, for example, distorts economic data and complicates financial regulations. Money laundering and financial regulation. Illicit drug profits often find their way into the legal financial system through money laundering. This process involves disguising the origins of illegally obtained money, making it difficult for regulators to trace and control. The complexity of money laundering has led to increased investment in financial regulation and compliance efforts, further fueling economic activity in this sector. Legitimate economic contributions. Interestingly, some aspects of the illegal drug trade inadvertently support legitimate economic activity. The demand for certain legal products and services, such as surveillance technology, legal representation, and financial compliance tools, can be partially attributed to the need to combat and regulate drug trafficking. This creates a symbiotic relationship between the illegal and legal economies. Tax revenue from legalized drugs. In recent years, the legalization of marijuana in several states has shifted the economic landscape of the war on drugs. Legalized marijuana has created new avenues for tax revenue and economic growth. Marijuana legalization and tax revenue. States that have legalized marijuana, such as Colorado and California, have seen substantial tax revenues from the sale of legal marijuana. These funds are often allocated to public health initiatives, education, infrastructure projects, and other essential services. The economic success of legalized marijuana demonstrates the potential financial benefits of shifting away from prohibitionist policies. Economic growth and job creation. The legal marijuana industry has also stimulated economic growth and job creation. From cultivation and retail to research and development, the industry provides numerous employment opportunities and contributes to state and local economies. This shift highlights a potential path forward for rethinking the economic and social impacts of drug policy. Social costs and economic disparities. While the war on drugs has fueled certain economic activities and provided government funding, it has also led to significant social costs and economic disparities. Impact on minority communities. The war on drugs has disproportionately affected minority communities, leading to higher incarceration rates and economic disadvantages. The social and economic repercussions for these communities are profound, contributing to cycles of poverty and disenfranchisement. Long-term economic implications. The social costs of the war on drugs extend beyond immediate economic impact. The long-term implications of broken families, disrupted communities, and lost opportunities contribute to a cycle of economic and social inequality. Addressing these disparities is essential for creating a more equitable and just society. Conclusion: a complex economic relationship. The war on drugs has significantly influenced the U.S. economy and government funding since its inception. From law enforcement expenditures and asset forfeiture revenues to healthcare costs and tax revenue from legalized drugs, the economic impact of the drug war is multifaceted and complex. Understanding this relationship is crucial for policymakers as they consider future drug policies. By acknowledging both the economic benefits and the social costs of the war on drugs, the United States can work towards a more balanced and equitable approach to drug policy and enforcement. This article was converted for free by the courtesy of AudioRaid. If you enjoy the service, please consider upgrading your plan to listen to up to 500,000 words per article. Simply go to audioread.com/ad and you'll see the upgrade option. Your support helps us keep making the service better. Thank you.